Do you guys remember when we first started with this $300 240Z that we're building for my wife? Do you guys remember when we cut out what was left of the floor pans, bead rolled it our own, redid the secret compartment tray, fixed the rust right here, built this panel from scratch, rebuilt the dog leg. This section right here, I reconstructed this whole door jamb, had all that cut out where it was rusted, custom frame rails. What about when we redid the firewall, inner wheel tub, made our own custom battery tray? The rust don't stop there, and neither does the progress. In today's video, we're getting up underneath the back side of this thing. We're getting more rust cut out and more new metal put in. Hope you enjoy today's video. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, Dusty Mac's Garage. Today we're working on my wife's Datsun again. This will be part 21 in our build series, rebuilding the Legend from scratch. We still got tons of work left to do on this thing, but we're gonna keep on knocking down the progress, one project at a time. Only problem is, today's project is kind of a big one. Now, the project we're tackling today is right in the back of this 240Z. It's in a tight, crammed, and congested space. So before we even get started, let me give you guys a closer look at what we're going to be tackling in today's video. Alright, so I got to repair the underside of this. Rust on this, rust on the bottom side. Also got to repair this section. And then there's also a spot inside, right there and right here. So basically, there's three sections I got to repair. The underside of this section, and then the section that you can access from the rear inside interior of the car. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make some paper templates before I cut anything. Now we have made our panels out of some little template cardboard paper. This right here will go in here to fix this outer piece right here. We got our hole mark there. This piece here is what will go in and reinforce this structure up underneath. So what we'll do now before we cut anything out is we'll go ahead and take this apart and we'll cut these out of some sheet metal. And then once we got that, then we'll start cutting this out of the car.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall,
so you've seen us use the template paper, put it inside the car, got it trimmed to fit. Now this is what we basically need to build out of sheet metal. So we cut our pieces out, got them nice and cleaned up. And now what I need to do is I need to bend a radius in this piece to simulate this edge here. So I built a little jig. We got the bottom piece here representing that piece. Bam. This is the piece that we need to go from there. So I've got a little bitty tiny gap right here in the clearance. I got this pipe clamped down so I can literally put this piece in here, just enough room for it to fit, and then bend my edge to match that. Next thing I want to do now that I've got this piece fitting good is I want to set individual piece in there and mark where I can cut out. I'll do that with the bottom piece as well. Let's do it.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within calling.
Now that we got our marks made, we'll go ahead and get that section cut out.
You got the white knuckles holding on it tight,
Ow!
keeping your feelings bottled up inside, heading for collision in the night. To really live, you gotta die. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out.
If you didn't know, the Datsun is the gift that just keeps on giving. And the gift it likes to give is rust. They tried to fill in both sides where I guess the relief is for the bumper. And instead of doing it out of sheet metal, they drilled holes and filled it full of Bondo. If you guys do any type of metal work, body work, and you ain't got one of these little body saws, you're sleeping. Don't sleep on this right here. This right here is a lifesaver. I mean, as I was using it, I was literally like a kid at Christmas because I knew I was gonna be cramped up in this corner and this thing came in clutch. A lot of times stuff don't work out how you think it will. I'm sorry if I'm hollered. A lot of times stuff don't work out how you think it will. In my head, I said, I'll get this thing. It'll make cutting this a breeze. It made it a freaking breeze, man. Harbor Freight for the win again. And if you don't like calling it Harbor Freight, just call it snap-offs. If you can't afford snap-ons, buy snap-offs. This right here, this Chief, came in clutch. Lifesaver. They made. Okay, so a quick tip. You just heard me ranting and raving about this little body saw. Now what I'm gonna do, you can either drill a hole where you wanna start cutting at, or you can take a small little side grinder or a regular grinder, get you a little start, a little path for it to start, and then you can work your way around the panel.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within calling. This heavy load got under your skin, hauling.
USC Weld Through Primer.
Heading for collision in the night to read.
Under here, you just seen the shot, the after shot. We'll go back and grind this, smooth that. I'll do a few more tacks, and then under here, once this gets seam sealed and undercoating on it, should be looking right. But this side here, this whole back side has got to be replaced. So basically from here down, it's there, but it's rusted through and bondoed. They drilled holes and put bondo on it. You can see it over here. Over here is not as bad with the bondo, but over here is definitely. So you just seen all the work that just got done. I'm just going to give you a quick little overview. Now keep in mind, there's small little sections that I still got to fix off camera. That's not really something that's, you know, exciting. So we still got some little imperfections to fix here and there. There's no seam sealer on it yet. There's no primer. Once we get the whole undercarriage ready, then we'll proceed to that stage. So keep in mind, there's sections I'm going to finish doing some stitch welding. And then there's sections that need seam sealed and all that, yada, yada, yada. But if you remember, we got this section patched, and I am happy to say I am thrilled with the fitment. Right here in this corner, I got a little high spot and a little high spot. I'll use my little belt sander right there and finish taking it down. Just kind of ran out of time. But I mean, considering what we started with, that right there, that's money. That is money. I'll go back through and do some stitch welds. I won't fully weld it. Do some stitch welds. And then I'll grind this. I'll grind that smooth. All this is going to get undercoated, so it's not like it's a big deal. And then this, you can see the few holes that's left in that piece. That's where I drilled out the spot welds. Where when I cut this piece out, I drilled out the spot welds, and I'll use those holes to spot weld into this piece. You can see there where we welded it. Like I said, along here, it'll be spot welded to this back here, if that makes sense. But considering where we started, and then we talked about this, basically from here over, this back piece here has got to be replaced. Hoping my wife will let me do like a cool, you know, simple rear diffuser, nothing crazy. Wife likes the classic look. That's one of the reasons we went with the L24 motor. That's probably why we won't go with any fender flares. If we do, it will be because I found some. My wife don't like the bolt on, bolt off type look. So she's kind of leaning towards no fender flares, but that could change. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. I'm blown away by the support. I'm still wondering where all of our new subscribers are coming from. I don't know what to keep saying except I'm blown away. Channel does not grow without engaged viewers, you know, and we have that. I think the last video we had over 100 likes and over 100 and something comments. I can't remember exactly, but maybe we'll top that in this video. So, having said all that, if you got an idea of what we should shoot for our goal, for subscribers, for 2023, throw it down in the comments. I don't know what it is yet. I'm gonna come up with one. It's probably gonna be a big one. It's gotta be a big one. Can you guys just imagine, if you think back to when we first rolled this thing in, it had a subframe that came with it, but there was no rear subframe under the car. No floor pans, no frame rails. Slowly we're checking one thing off at a time. We got the motor that we're gonna use. Can you guys just envision in your head when this thing's upside down, all the rust repairs done on the underside, and we seam seal everything and undercoat the bottom. And then when we roll it back over, fine tune, get the whole body in primer, all the rust repairs done. What about when we start building the L24 inline 6 dual carbed engine, the engine dress up? What about the first startup on the motor? What kind of exhaust are we gonna run? Headers, radiator, what kind of interior will we put in this car? What kind of rims will my wife pick out? My wife has picked out the color. If you guys have been watching the series, I'm curious how many of you remember what color she picked out. So if you remember the color she picked out, throw it down in the comments. That's all I got. Dusty Mac signing out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.